you start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger. That hurts you, it backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now. You're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want is much more abstract than even the busing thing. And a hell of a lot more abstract than nigger, nigger, you know.
The person on the show was named Lee Atwater. He was a consultant in the early 80s or so for Bush Sr. and for Ronald Reagan. He even became the chairman, I should say, of the Republican National Committee. He was very influential. He's the one who really came up with the Southern strategy. He's at least the one who we know really implemented it some of the most. He was a very important man in history, but very few people know about him. And such a powerful figure, saying these kinds of things should be troubling. I bring this video and the topic of Atwater up to give just a gut response to the ringings of these words, of these slurs, because they're worth so much more than the sum of their parts. The words, like the N-word, it's worth more than just 6 letters. That's not what it means. It's, in a way, like food. They're worth so much more together. Each individual ingredient for, say, a great roast or a great piece of sushi or whatever. Each thing individually, each thing individually might be good, but together it completes something completely else. It makes something completely else. It makes something that just the smell of it can transport someone back to their childhood. Just the simple smell. But each of them individually can't do anything like that. It's only together that they have this true meaning. It's the same with words. Letters by themselves have no real meaning. They have no real importance to anyone. But if you put them together, if you stack them in just the right order, it can mean these proverbs of such vile evil. And if you want to string out even more, these sentences can lead to the greatest happiness, but also the greatest anguish and fear and embarrassment and all other emotions. Because again, there was so much more than the sum of their parts. Smelling these great things can be new, such good, but these slurs can be shorthand. Because that's what they really are. They're shorthand. When you say banana, it's shorthand for what it is. When you say these slurs, it's shorthand for what it is. And what these words mean are not good. The N-word, it means you are a slave. It means you are to be lynched. It means that you are a rapist. If you're called the one with the B for Mexican people, it means that you are an illegal immigrant. It means that you are a rapist as well, a murderer, someone who doesn't work hard. If you're some of the Asian ones, it means that you are someone whose skull should be crushed by tires. It means you are someone in internment camps, if you're just in general Asian. That's what these words mean. That's what they really mean. And that's why we should not be saying them, even if we are a part of these communities. That's why I am Mexican and Asian. I'm allowed to say them. I don't. Because it furthers the ideas of us being a part of these, even subconsciously. If you tell yourself day in and day out, I am bad, I am bad, I am bad, I am worthless, I am worthless, I am worthless, I am a murderer, I am an animal, I am less than human. If you say it day in and day out, again, it's worth so much more than the sum of its parts. You say it once, doesn't really mean much. Stack it over a week, it's gonna start to affect you maybe a little. Stack it over a month, you can start to see a change in your perception. Stack that over a year and a lifetime, your life is completely different than if you didn't. Your perception of yourself is completely different. There's a reason why a lot of the most educated people of color I know don't use any of these words. They refuse to use any of them because they know the shorthand. They know what it does to you subconsciously. Many people I know who are people of color, they do. Because they're not educated enough in this way. They're educated by experiences, not as much educated as in the history and the books of it. There is to be said that the actual experiences of it, the education or knowledge of experiencing, is likely more valuable. But what's even most valuable is having both. Is having not one avenue of it, but two, to conjoin together to form a new opinion. That is why we need to not be using these words. Music perpetrates it a lot. I listen to almost purely rap and hip-hop. I hear these words on a daily basis, and I can't imagine how I'd feel about myself if I was black. Hearing these words day in and day out, month after month, year after year, hearing them essentially perpetrate this idea that I'm a slave, that I, as in, if I was someone who's black, I am a slave. I am someone who is less than human. I am not a man. I am an animal. Which is why I refuse to use my own, as someone would say. Because I don't want to perpetrate in my own mind. I don't want to mess my mind up and make me think subconsciously that I'm a rapist, that I'm a murderer, and that I'm a legal immigrant, and that I don't belong in this country.